Hello everyone, it's James from Square Internet here with another WordPress tutorial. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the new Elementor interactive hotspots on your WordPress websites. So if you're wondering what an interactive hotspot is, I've got one open for you here. It looks like a little GIF on the Elementor website showing you what the interactive hotspots are and how they work. So as you can see, we have an image and we have some hotspots that when hovered or when clicked display a tooltip which has some text and a button in. So it's essentially creating interactive images. So you have a large image, you have some clickable hotspots on the image that display text or content or whatever you might like. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. I'm going to walk you through how the Hotspot widget works and show you the basics so that you can start creating interactive hotspots on your WordPress websites. So let's dive right in. I've got Elementor open in a draft page here, and I'm going to set the page layout to canvas again so that we don't have a header or a footer. Oh, I'm just going to refresh the page 1 second. My internet's playing up. And we'll set the page to canvas, which as I said is disabling the header and the footer. So we just have Elementor. And we can get started. Okay, so to demonstrate how the Hotspot widget works, we want a template that will support a large image. So I just want something that looks okay, so you can kind of get an idea of how it might look on a an actual page template rather than a blank page. Just try and find something that will... Okay, this one looks quite good. So yeah, this is what looks like an about page. This is good. So we'll use this. So we've got a large image here and we can use this to demonstrate how the hotspot works. This could be perhaps a about us page for an agency, and this could be the team of the agency or the company, and you may want to have hotspots perhaps on each member of the team, where when you hover or click the hotspot it displays the team member's name and maybe like a small blurb about them. So let's go ahead and insert this template, and we can see how the Hotspot widget works. Okay, so I've got an image here in a row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Elementor and I'm going to search for Hotspot. I'm going to drag and drop the widget like so. I don't actually need this image anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that image, I'm going to put it in the Hotspot widget. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the image for the hotspot. I'm going to go into the media library and find that image that we just got rid of. Where is it? Be a large image. This one, it looks like. There we go. So we'll insert the image again and we can get started. So that's the first part. Within the content tab, image, so you can use whichever image you'd like to form your hotspot. So we've put in an image, we can edit the image size, we can set it to full, we can use any of these kind of sizes, but I'll imagine you'll want a nice large image for your hotspot. We don't need to play around with any more of the image settings for now. Let's dive right into how the actual hotspot works. So when I click on the hotspot, we've got a tooltip displaying. This is the tooltip here, the box with the text. And this floating icon here is the hotspot. So let's start with the hotspot and see how it works. So if we click into the hotspot, at the moment, we don't have a lot of stuff populated. We've got a content tab and we've got a position tab. So let's look at the icon. So the icon determines what is actually showing up for the hotspot. So you may not want a circle like this. So you have two options there for determining what the hotspot icon actually is. So you can upload a custom SVG or an SVG file you've got from somewhere, or you can select something from the Elementor Icon library. So you can select anything you want for the hotspot, which is pretty cool. So maybe you want to use the comment icon, if you're illustrating something that someone's saying, whatever it may be, you can select an icon from the Elementor library or put your own in. I'm going to go back to just a basic circle for now. We'll keep that as it is for now. So that's that. The next thing I want to look at is the link. So we can insert a link so that the hotspot will link the user to a different website or a different part of your website. So if we just test that out a second. Oh, what's going on? Just put in link for Google into the link, and on the preview for this page, if I click the hotspot, get redirected to Google. So that's quite cool. You can have a link redirect going on there. Don't need that for now, so I'll get rid of that. The second part of the hotspot that we have to look at is the actual content tab. So this displays what happens when you click on the hotspot, so the tooltip content. So you can add any content that you'd like. In the tooltip box, we have a default kind of WordPress editor here, so you can add media, you can add span styles here, I assume, structure this any kind of way that you'd like, and it's the content that displays when you actually activate the hotspot. Below that we have an animation, so you can control the animation for the hotspot. So at the moment it's got a expand animation. Let me just I don't know why my editor's being weird. Let me turn off the background color on the hotspot quickly so that if I can get that back to default. I don't know. There's the background color. Okay, you can see the animation a bit better. I'm going to change the animation from expand to soft beat, like so. You see the animation's changed. It's kind of like a sort of heartbeat animation, a soft beat, as opposed to expanding. And there's also an overlay animation you can choose where it's kind of the opacity has changed, so it's not opaque anymore. It's kind of semi-transparent. So you can change the animation. You can also add a sequenced animation, like so. If we insert a value here, we can control how long the animation takes. So that's the animation and the sequence animation. We'll leave that on soft beat for now. The second important part of the hotspot content tab is actually the position of the hotspot. So this is really important. So how do you actually determine where your hotspots go on the image? So right now we've got one hotspot and it's kind of right in the middle of the image. But what happens when we have multiple hotspots? How do we control where they go? So it's really easy to do, and it's done using the horizontal and vertical orientation offsets. I'll show you how. So if we change this number from 50 to 100, it's either going to move left or right. So it's moved to the right. Let's say we want to put the first one in front of this individual here. So if 100's gone right to the edge of the image, let's try 20. Let's try 18 because we kind of want it to be centered. And vertical orientation is at 50. Let's try putting it to 70. I'm guessing it will go down. Okay, that's gone down. Like so. So it's kind of almost center aligned on the person. So there we go. That's how we can position the first hotspot. So it's nice and simple, as you can see. And if you look here, we also have responsive options for how we manage this on desktop, mobile and tablet. If I switch to mobile view, we have the ability to control the offsets on mobile as opposed to desktop. So at the moment it's blocking the face of this person slightly, so we could, where are we? Vertical. We could say 90. And then if we switch back to desktop view, the desktop view will be what it originally was, like so. So that's really, really super useful for this widget, that you can have full control over where the hotspots sit on desktop, mobile, and tablet. So I think that's about everything that I want to cover on the content tab to start with on the hotspots, because we've shown you how to place a hotspot. Let me just show you how to add multiple hotspots now, just quickly before I go on to how styling works. So we've got 3 hotspots now, but the reason we can't see them, I assume, is because they're all right on top of each other. So I'm going to move this one from the left. I want it to be in front of this individual to the right. So let's try changing the offset of some of these hotspots to get these second hotspots showing up. Okay, so there's the second hotspot. I think 28 might be kind of center line there. Okay, great. There's the horizontal offset. Let's do the vertical offset. So 80 is towards the bottom, so let's try 30 towards the top. Okay, yeah, that looks quite cool. You can obviously place these however you'd like them, you know, if you have an About Us page, according to the individuals in the picture. That's the second one. Let's just grab the third one now and move it out from, I assume, under here. Do the same sort of thing. So what were we, 30 for there, so let's try 40, 45, 46, 46 looks okay. And we want to set that to 30, 27, let's try 30, try 35. Reduce that by 2. Okay, so again, that's kind of, you know, almost center with the individual. I may as well do these just quickly for you, just to get a hotspot underneath every person. Why not? So this one is a duplicate of 3, so it's set to 44. We just need to increase the number. Try 56. I've just clicked left right there on the horizontal orientation. Sometimes you just have to give Elementor a bit of a kick to make it catch up with you. So 56, that's not enough. 68 looks about right. We want to move it up slightly, so okay, that's fine. We'll do the final hotspot. We'll go into position. It was a clone of number 3, so it's got these values. I think we had 60 something there, so let's say maybe 70, no, 80. There looks relatively centered, but we're going to want to set this to, oh, not bad, 90 looks about right. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hotspots, and each of them are, you know, relatively in line, relatively centered with the individuals in this image. So if you are doing a About Us page, that's how you could add the 5 hotspots and position them like so. And you can copy this process for any kind of image. It's just a case of adding hotspots. You know, just add one, click this duplicate button, and then you need to set the positions on the hotspots using the horizontal and the vertical offsets. And remember, as I showed you, you have responsive options on horizontal and vertical offset, so you don't have to just set the one value for all devices. You can go in and you can play around till they look perfect on desktop, mobile and tablet. I think that's everything that I want to cover now in content. I'm going to go into style, and I'm going to show you how you can actually style the way that the hotspots and the tooltips look and work, so that you can get them to match the style that you want on your website. So I'm not a designer, but I think to match this template we want something minimal, and we want to use white and black colors. So let me just grab the black color from this block of text, and let's start looking at styling the hotspot. So the first thing we've got here in the style tab is the image settings. Actually, I'm going to come back to the image settings. I'm going to focus on hotspot for now, and first thing that I want to do is to look at the box color. So as I said, I'm not a designer, but I guess we could do like a black. Let's try black box, or maybe we want, let's try black color on a white box. It's got some color there that's inheriting from somewhere, I'm not sure where. Let's see what it looks like with a white background to contrast, because that's kind of what this theme is doing. So I'm just setting the color of the box there to white with black circle color, which looks okay. Size. Second thing we can look at is the actual size of the hotspots. So you can make them as big or as small as you want, like so. I guess you can scale that up according to, you know, the size of the image that you're dealing with. You can set it in pixels, or you can use the toggle here to just go up and down, or you can set them to be a percentage value. Let's just set them to 15, looks okay. Typography, so you can manage the typography for the hotspot and also for the tooltip beneath. So you can set it to match, you know, your theme or your template, whatever you might want to use. You can set a minimum or a maximum width for the hotspot, and you can also control stuff like the padding and the border on the hotspot and the tooltip. So if we add padding to the hotspot, we're going to be adding some spacing to the inside of the box, I assume. If I just add some padding there, you see we've added some spacing between the edges of the hotspot box and the inside icon. So you can add that, you know, as you see fit, whatever you think is appropriate for your design. I'm sure yours will look a lot better than what I'm doing here. And you can also play with the border radius here. So I guess we can make a circle as opposed to the square, which looks a bit better. So yeah, we can have a circle within a circle, circle inception. So now we've got two circles as opposed to a square there. Maybe we want to add a little bit more padding now, like so. Maybe 7. So we can handle padding, we can handle border radius. So all the options here we've got for the hotspot, and we also have some options for responsive design. So the size you can change desktop, mobile or tablet. So your hotspots on desktop will likely be bigger than the hotspots on a mobile device or a tablet. So you can go onto the mobile view and change them as you need. The same for the typography. You can obviously manage that on a widget or a global level across devices. I think that's good for now on the hotspot. So let's just now look at the tooltip, because I've showed you how we can change the way the actual hotspot works and the styling. Now we want to control this box here, which kind of is doing its own thing at the moment. You know, we want to make that match the design. We want to be able to control the way it looks and works. So we'll start with the width. It's the same concept as with the tooltip. You've got a toggle here. You can control how wide the tooltip box is. So you can set that, or you can leave that and just let it kind of set itself according to the text. You can control the padding, the color, the border radius, and the box shadow. So I think what I want to do is change the color to the black color so that it matches. First of all, like so. And typography, that looks really quite big for a tooltip. Let's check what the font that they're using and match that up as well. So Montserrat font. So let's go back into the tooltip and let's match the typography to Montserrat there, and let's tone that right down to, I even think 16 might be a bit too big. 12 looks okay, maybe 13, like so. So now it looks just a bit cleaner, a bit more professional. It's not kind of going everywhere over the design, and you can actually read the text, so that's good. So there's the typography, and we have the ability to change the text color there, but it looks like it's white by default, so it's showing up fine on the background, so looks fine for now. I don't think we'd want to make this a circle, but we might want to round the edges to sort of match our circle design. So you might want to add some border radius to just round the edges slightly, like so. As you can see, it's shaping up quite nicely. Padding, again, we can do the same thing with padding that we did on the circle. So if you want to add some padding on the box, you can. You can set that kind of as you feel appropriate, like so. And we can also change the alignment of the tooltip on the Hotspot widget. So at the moment it's at the bottom, but if we set it to, let me just go into the actual tooltip. Okay, so I think that I know why that's not working, because we haven't set a width. So let's set the width of the box. Okay, yeah, so if we increase the width relative to the content, we can now change the alignment, so we can have it right aligned, left aligned, center aligned, like so, or justified. But I think I'm going to make the box a not set a size, so that it sort of fills as it needs, and just leave it as it is for now. The other thing I was just talking about was positioning the tooltip relative to the hotspot. I realized I didn't show you that, so I'm just going to show you that now in the content tab. So under tooltip we have position, and we can change whether it's beneath the hotspot, to the right, on top, or to the left, like so. So you can set that as you kind of want. We also have the trigger options here, so we can set it to trigger on click or on hover. So on hover is quite cool, I think. Better than kind of clicking. I think it's a bit smoother, but I'll leave that to you to obviously decide. And we have the animation that we can control on the tooltip as well. So whether it fades in or out, whether it grows, whether it fades by a particular direction, or whether it slides by a particular direction. Again, I'll leave that to you to decide. And there's also a duration setting there as well, where you can control how long the animation actually takes to complete. So if we now preview the page, let's just look at it, see how it's working. So there we go. We're hovering over our hotspots, tooltips popping up. It's all kind of working okay. It's all kind of within the limits of the image. And we now have a working hotspot image that, took not a lot of time. I mean, once you've watched the tutorial, you could probably have a nice hotspot image working in kind of 20-30 minutes, depending on how particular you are about how it works and the design. Really useful widget from Elementor, really cool. I can see lots of ways to create creative new designs using this widget, and hopefully you will too. If you found the video useful, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos. I'm always releasing new fresh content. Probably going to be doing a few hotspot videos because I think it's a really interesting widget, and I'll do a few showing a few different ways you can use it. Thanks as always for watching my videos, and hopefully I'll see you on the next videos.